Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Terror. I'm your host, Daniel Aston. Now, when we think about scary creatures and monsters, we normally think of something covered in fur and scales. Maybe something with sharp fangs, sharp claws, red glowing eyes, things that come out of our nightmares. But one of the most scariest creatures, in my personal opinion, is one that is unassuming and comes in the form of innocence. And that creature is the black eyed children. Black eyed children seem very innocent when first encountered. Looking anywhere between the ages of 6 and 16, they will usually knock on a car door or the door of your home asking for help. But when looked at a little closer, one will see that they are, in fact, not normal children. They are usually pale and their eyes will be black, hence the name the black eyed children. They tend to have a very mechanical way of moving and talking, not consistent with how children usually behave. If you deny their request, they get progressively insistent and may even become very violent. The black eyed children were first reported in Abilene, Texas in 1996 by a man named Brian Bethel. Brian had just gotten off of work and stopped at a local strip mall to pay his cable bill before he went home. According to Bethel, while he was sitting in his car writing a check for his bill, two teenagers came up to his window asking for a ride to their mother's house to get some money so they could go get tickets to a movie. Brian felt something was wrong as the hair on his neck stood up. The movie they wanted to see had already been playing for 45 minutes. Also, the voice sounded much older than the children appeared. When they stepped out of the shadows, that is when Brian noticed that their eyes were completely black. The teens became more insistent and started banging on the door, yelling to be let in. Brian put his car in gear and sped off. When he looked back, he noticed the children were gone. Bethel ran a story in the Abilene News Reporter. After that, stories of black eyed children started to pop up all around the world. In July of 2010, a man in Ohio was working a night shift. He noticed two teenage boys with black eyes on the security cameras. They kept trying to get the man to come outside. When the man contemplated calling the police, the teens, as if reading the man's mind, insisted there was no need to call the cops and that they just needed to use the phone. The man refused and kept an eye on them through the glitching security screens. He eventually called the police, and when the officers showed up, the teens were gone. In early November of 2012, a woman was up late watching TV with her cat. The cat suddenly jumped off her lap and ran into the laundry room, where it hid between the washer and the dryer, refusing to come out. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When she answered, there was a boy and a girl standing there looking into her house. The boy asked if the cat had left, and the girl insisted on being let in. They looked up at her, grinning, eyes completely black. When the woman noticed their eyes, she shut the door and called the police. Footprints were found in the snow by the police, leading to the woods behind the woman's house. Months later, the woman found a makeshift bed in her gardening shed. One of the more terrifying tales is that of an elderly couple in Vermont. It was a cold and snowy day in January of 2016 when they heard a knock at the door. The wife opened the door to find a little boy and a little girl standing there asking to come in, avoiding eye contact. Their parents were on the way, they said. The woman hesitantly let the children in and went to the kitchen and came back with some hot cocoa. That's when the children showed their eyes. They were completely black. Children asked for the restroom, and the woman led them to it. When she returned, the husband was holding his nose, asking his wife if she had seen the children's eyes. When he pulled his hand away, the man had a severe nosebleed. All of a sudden, the power in their house went out. The children came back, claiming that their parents were there. The wife watched them leave, getting in a car with two strange, tall, slender men. After they left, the power returned to the house. Three of the couple's cats came up missing, and a fourth one was found dead in a puddle of its own blood. The husband kept having nosebleeds and was diagnosed with an aggressive skin cancer. Now, these are just a handful of the several tales that are out there of black eyed children, and they're all terrifying. They will come up to your home or come up to your car door while you're sitting in a parking lot or waiting at a red light and knock. Nobody really knows what they want or what they are, but one thing that is consistent is they always come up needing some sort of assistance, and they cannot come into your space unless they are invited in. So, under no circumstances, if you have any run ins with the black eyed children, do not let them in your space. So, I want to know what you think they are. Are they some sort of demon, a vampire, extraterrestrial, or a mystical, malevolent creature from another dimension? Tell me what you think in the comments. And until next time, stay spooky.